Hello, Dr. Vicki Peterson here. I wanted to talk to you today about it being kind of unfair to be gluten intolerant. So if you have been diagnosed with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, or you suspect that you're gluten intolerant based on maybe doing a trial and getting off gluten and feeling better, perhaps you've come to the conclusion that it's just not fair to fall into that category. And it's certainly difficult. Once you are gluten intolerant or have any food sensitivity for that matter, just being somewhere and throwing anything into your mouth really has to be a thing of the past. You can't ever do that. You have to know ingredients, you have to ask, you have to be very careful. Even innocent things. Recently my husband and I were at a restaurant and he got some fish, and that fish had a slight layer of flour on it. Even though we very specifically asked them not to do that, the cooking term is they dredge it, they put a little flour, they shake it off, and as far as the kitchen is concerned, well, it's not deep fried, it doesn't have a coating this thick on it like fried chicken. They didn't really understand that it wasn't how much, it was the fact that there was any. So recently I've run into several patients who had this "it's just not fair" thing bothering them, and what it resulted in was that they continued to cheat on their gluten-free diet. One young lady had a very serious skin condition her entire life. As a teenager, she discovered she was gluten intolerant. She stayed off of it for several years throughout high school, felt much, much better. Her skin completely cleared up. Now she's done with school and she's cheating now and again. She once again has a skin problem, has had anaphylactic shock where she's had trouble breathing, actually went to the emergency room on an occasion. And even that serious of not being able to breathe is just not enough. She's still a little stuck in the fact that it's not fair. Another gentleman who had chronic bronchial problems, also had skin problems, terrible digestive issues, very weak immune system. Years and years ago we found out about his gluten intolerance, and he's just had this, lingering issue and resentment with his body and the fact that he can't eat gluten, and has decided that if something's a liquid, then how much gluten can it have? So he liberally uses soy sauce that has wheat in it, and he drinks beer on occasion, which of course has gluten in it as well. And he just decided, well, it was a liquid, I could see through it, so how much gluten could it have? And finally, recently someone writing into me said, I just don't understand, I'm continuing to have problems, I'm not feeling well, and all I do is have spelt bread occasionally. It's very occasionally. It doesn't matter if it's occasionally. It's still gluten. It's not how much gluten. It's is there or isn't there. Now, as far as it's all unfair, I get it. I'm gluten intolerant. I work as hard as anybody else, maybe harder, to make sure that I don't get myself glutened, as the expression goes. We all have to work very hard. Being that aware, that chronically, you never get a day off. You can't go on vacation and just go, I'm just going to go to heck with myself and eat whatever I want on vacation. You can't do that. So here's the thing, is if you're recently discovered you're gluten intolerant, or maybe like some of my patients have known for years, you're just going to have to sit down and make a decision, black or white. Either you're just going to suck it up and say, I get it, I'm gluten intolerant, and I'm willing to play the game of knowing what goes into my mouth before it goes into my mouth, and what I get from that is I get great health. I prevent dying early. I help prevent autoimmune disease. You're doing so much to Teflon coat yourself and really be strong as far as your health status is concerned, which of course I think is worth the world. But it's your body. On the other spectrum, you can decide, I don't care. I'd rather not worry about it, eat what I want occasionally, and just take the consequences. So be it, but understand what you're creating. Shorter lifespan, increased risk for disease, not feeling well, not enjoying day to day because something's always going to be bothering you, make that decision and then go for it. But do understand you can't just put your hand over your eyes and say, it's just a little bit, so I think it should be okay and therefore it is okay. It's not okay. So, not trying to sound overly harsh, but this has come up a lot recently, so I wanted to do a little chat about it. And you know, it's okay. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself initially, but then make that decision and go for it. Okay? Please let me know if this was helpful, and please let me know other topics you want to hear me speak about, and send me your questions. You do, and I love hearing from you, and I very much enjoy having all of you give me your feedback. So until next time, I wish you very good health.